Today I'd like to talk about the galaxy and how the mission structure and player choices affect the galaxy and how it evolves over time. But first, I'd like to give a heartfelt thanks to all those people who have already pledged on Kickstarter. And to those that haven't yet but are thinking about it, come and join us, it's going to be great fun. So the idea with Elite Dangerous is the galaxy will gradually change over time. I want to touch on a few examples of how that will happen, but also how player actions can direct or change how that happens, either individually or en masse. Imagine a super rich colony, trade is booming, they decide to build a space station, so orders go out for parts and things like that. You see the space station as a skeleton initially going around, sort of scaffolding going around the planet. You see it get more filled in, and eventually with time you see they start fitting it out, so orders for the kit that goes inside it goes out. So at some point this space station will be complete, and all various surrounding dignitaries from the surrounding area will want to be brought in. So these will all be mission contracts for players to take up. El Presidente himself will want to do the opening ceremony, so he will be brought in. You won't actually see the opening ceremony, but all this activity will be going on around the station. Now, a lot of these dignitaries are probably not very widely liked, because that's the sort of world we're imagining, so there will also be assassination contracts out on some of them. And you may find you're actually carrying one of these dignitaries who is up for being assassinated, so you need to also bear that in mind. So the opening ceremony will take place, people all have to leave, and then the system will return, or will become a system with just a normal space station. But the galaxy has moved on in its little way, and these sort of things will be happening all over the place over time. And that total sort of cycle would have taken place over maybe a month. Now, that's a mundane example. Imagine a world falls into a state of famine. So the complete crop failure, government's panicking, humanitarian aid is coming in, government is putting out contracts for getting hold of food in large quantities. And of course it's up to the player whether to profiteer from this or whether to act charitably. And also, of course, all of the other surrounding systems will be watching this. Imagine this system is in a state of feud with an adjacent one. They may see this as a great opportunity to come and take advantage, shall we say. So if the government of the system we're talking about has mothballed its navy in order to fund this humanitarian aid, the other system may see it as a great opportunity. So imagine a large warship arrives and blockades the system because they want the first system to capitulate and be annexed essentially by the first one. That's a fantastic opportunity for the player. They can choose to side with this invader, or they can run the blockade to support the system being invaded. And over time, depending on the number of players that help the invaders, the number of people that help the victims, either it will become annexed to the first system, or it will become free again. And the reputations will carry forward to the players that helped either side. So with that, you've had quite a change over time, but you end up with a system that's then allied with the first system, possibly not happily, because of course then there's a further state it can move into of being unhappy. Maybe there's sort of terrorism goes on, and then maybe with time it in turn becomes happy. But from a player point of view, it also determines that the missions are not one-shot things. You think, well, which side do I want to be on? And how will that play out in time? If I got a positive reputation with this victim system, oh great, I can now get goods more cheaply or whatever. So I think all of that would feed very much into the richness of the game and shows that the players can, together, very much affect the world as it unfolds. All of this richness still works in single player, but of course you would lose out on a lot of the sort of social aspects of feeling you're collaborating on one side or another. Now look at a different example. Imagine you've got two fairly hostile worlds, reasonably close to each other, and a player discovers a very valuable mining resource in vast quantities. Maybe it discovers an asteroid in a system that's currently unclaimed in the middle of nowhere. Clearly, both these systems are going to want to have that new system annexed to them. As soon as the news gets out of this sort of gold rush, or proverbial gold rush, they might both station warships in this system and start fighting over it. And it will be up to the players on which faction they want to support. And so you can take missions from one side or missions from the other side. And again, the balance of players supporting either side will determine who wins out in the conflict. And of course there is a third way, which is all the while these valuable mineral resources will be there. So some people might try mining them under the guns of these warships, although that might not be very effective. So overall that shows, gives an inkling of how we expect the galaxy to work and how it can change over time, and how players can be involved in a significant way in that process, either individually or en masse, influencing one side over another. I think we can have a lot of fun with it, and I think as it progresses through time, we will introduce sort of new elements, new missions to the game. So it's not static, it's not fixed in that way at all. In terms of the events you do, maybe the convoy you just attacked was carrying something really valuable, which then triggers another event in the game. I think that richness, the possibility that every action might be a very significant one, makes it very, very exciting. This is a game that we really, really want to make. As you can see, it will be very rich, it's very different to what's been before, and it's something that we all, and I especially, very, very excited about. So come and be a part of it, come and join our Kickstarter campaign, and thank you for watching this video.